Hi, everybody. This is Joe Jurek. I hope you're doing really good out there in DG land, no matter where you're at. Thank you for taking the time to share your evening with me this evening. And I hope after we complete everything this evening, you might feel a little bit better about calculating repairs. Often when you're out there looking at properties, there are several important things to consider about the property. After repaired value is one of them, location, things of that nature. But one of the things that really falls on you is calculating the repairs that are necessary on a property. I often say there's a difference when you look at repairs. You should start with properties that need like a lighter repair. I then would move up to medium. And then lastly, I would do the heavier repairs last. If you start out doing the heavy, unfortunately, it could burn you out because calculating repairs kind of takes a little bit of energy and effort. But once you get it down, it does get easier with every property you consider that you might want to make an offer on and know what to offer. Just some things to consider. If you go too high on repairs, the calculation, if you go too high, your offer is probably going to be way too low. If you calculate repairs too low, your offers are going to be too high. They got to be just right, right there, kind of as close as you can in the ballpark. I often say they don't have to be to the penny, but they got to be in the ballpark. Now, when you look at a property, a lot of times there's two different things that you or potentially one of your buyers might do. Looking at the property, there's a huge difference between rent-ready quality, getting the property just ready and in a condition to rent, compared to a buy, fix, and resell, or a buy, fix, and flip. The buy, fix, and flip, hands down every time, is going to take a lot more repair than making it rent ready. So as you look at a property and determine which one you're going to do, you also are considering to what extent are you going to do it? Because as we've often said, never over improve a property. If you over improve a property, you may not get the money back out of it. If you use too good a material, typical example would be putting granite in everything you do. From the bathroom to the kitchens, that sort of thing. Granite can look nice, but it could be an over improvement if other properties within that area aren't using the higher grade or higher quality material. A lot of us out there are probably starting with starter homes and kind of working our way up for that, going all the way up to a luxury home, but use the appropriate materials. Now, how I do it might be a little bit different than how others may consider doing it. But like everything I often talk about, it's like ice cream. Everybody may like a different flavor of ice cream. Not everybody may agree on the same flavor. So when I look at repairs, these are things that I look at. I consider major items that might need to be done. In a lighter rehab, I'm not doing usually more than one major item. And in most cases, I'm not doing any of the major items. A major item could be doing, upgrading or updating of the electrical system, or the plumbing, or the roof, whatever you might call it. Also looking at HVAC, heating, venting, air conditioning. Maybe it's exterior, such as siding, windows, doors. It could be a kitchen, doing a full kitchen remodel or full bathroom remodels. So usually a lighter rehab, almost every house you do is going to need to be painted. Almost every house you do is going to need some type of flooring, carpet, vinyl, ceramic. It's going to need some type of flooring. It's also going to usually need lighting hardware, ceiling lights or fans, that sort of thing, or plumbing fixtures, sometimes new faucets, things of that nature, new hardware, maybe in the kitchen or in the bathroom. It'll need hardware there. So usually when we're looking at dollars and cents for starter homes, Usually for me, 15,000 or under is going to be a lighter rehab. And in most cases, it's probably closer to 10 or 12,000. For me to do a medium rehab, it's going to involve around two major items. So if I have to do a kitchen and two bathrooms, if I have to do a major electrical in a kitchen, or if I have to do a roof and maybe have to do an HVAC system. So it's usually around two major items plus everything with a light rehab for me is going to be a medium. And anything you do more than two of the major, what we can call big ticket items, would be a heavy rehab. If you're just starting out, like I had mentioned earlier, I may not focus on a heavy rehab because in a heavier rehab, usually the home's a little older and there could be items that you don't consider when you calculate the rehab or remodel or updating until you get into it. And then usually you can have some things that may come up that can cost a little bit more. So typically, my medium rehab is gonna be 25,000 or under, more than likely closer to 20. My heavy rehabs are gonna be 25,000 or greater. Maybe they could be 30, 40, 50,000. That's usually going to get me into a heavier rehab. Now, some other investors out there may have a different general guideline, and looking at square footage, they may say a lighter rehab usually can cost them, about $10 a square foot. A medium could be $20 a square foot, and a heavy could be 30 or more a square foot. Now, granted, these are only rough averages that are out there. Every market is a little bit different, sometimes with pricing of the material, and you also have pricing of the labor for a total cost. It's going to be the cost of material plus the cost of labor equals your total cost. What I would encourage all of you out there to do is try to break down what these costs might be within the market that you're in, and take it in pieces. It's like, how do we eat that elephant? One bite at a time, right? So what you want to basically do is look at a house from the exterior, then work your way on the interior. Just to kind of run through a checklist, when I get out of a vehicle, first thing I might look at is the roof of the house, including the chimney. Then I might look at if it has some type of siding, or is it stucco, or is it cracked, or is it brick, or is it wood siding or vinyl, or what's the situation of the siding? Then I'm going to look at doors and windows on the outside. I'm going to look at decking or fencing, around the outside, as well as general landscaping. You usually always have a few $100s or more to put in the landscaping. In some cases, if the front yard or backyard isn't that nice, you're going to have to budget even more than that. And if you're in a very hot climate and you put in landscaping, you may even have to budget, kind of irrigation for watering of the landscaping as well too. Now, if you're more out in the country and you have a well, you may have to get that looked at. If you have a septic tank, you may have to get that looked at. If you're in a very rural area and have a cesspool or a water catchment, you may have to get that looked at if you're not as familiar with those items in your given area. But take it in two steps, an exterior and then an interior. Lastly, on the exterior, if you do have a central air conditioning unit, usually you can look at the unit and look at the serial number on there, and sometimes it may have a year on it. What I've found is sometimes the older units are much larger, and the newer units usually appear to be a little bit more energy efficient. If you spend some time looking at different air conditioning systems, it may give you an idea whether the air conditioner has been updated over time or not, as well as electrical service coming into a home. In some areas, you may have an electric service come into the home and have the box or electrical box on the exterior. If you do have it on the exterior, you want to check out to maybe see the service coming into the home. Is it 100 amp service, 200 amp service? A lot of times you can look at the electrical panel box, it'll show you that. Also, when the service comes in, you're going to want to take a look at to see You know, is the power coming in correctly? Is it coming in through like a weather head, where a lot of times you're going to see an arm in the roof and the wire is going to connect, and that's connecting into the weather head. Sometimes older homes, that needs to be updated because the power coming in is not high enough off the ground. Usually it's got to be at least 10 foot. If you build a deck, it may, you know, distort how high that really is. Now, the other thing I would tell you on the interior, you know, the room you're going to spend the most money in is always going to be the kitchen. How I look at the kitchen is flooring, you know, counter, cabinets, your sink, faucet, and appliances. So you normally have two costs. You know, you can pretty much buy a good appliance package: refrigerator, stove, dishwasher that mounts over the stove, and you know, a washer, a dryer if it's in the kitchen, off the kitchen. A lot of times you can get the whole appliance package for $2,500 to $3,000 plus the cost of the cabinets, counters, flooring, that sort of thing. What I would highly encourage you to do is start looking at it from an aspect of a cost per square foot. I would itemize out what you're going to do for a house. Look at the itemization of the labor, look at an itemization of the materials, the total cost, then take the total amount of the rehab and divide it by your cost to get an average cost per square foot. So, for example, if I was looking at 10 different houses and I was trying to calculate 10 costs for each of these starter homes, and they were a light rehab, I would look at my total cost that I came up with divided by the square footage of the home to get an average cost per square foot for a lighter rehab. Then when I'm doing a medium rehab, it's everything I did in a light plus some additional larger, bigger ticket items. I would then go ahead and add those items into the medium rehab. Once again, I would consider pricing out maybe 5 to 10 houses and then getting an itemized cost per square foot. When it comes to a heavy duty rehab, it's going to be everything in a light, probably in a medium, plus additional. Remember, for the heavy duty rehab, you're probably going to look at doing more than 2 of the larger, bigger ticket items. So you're going to get a total cost for that. Now, a couple of things that I would think about doing. You can get different general cost guidelines. There are books out that talk about that. If you Google that, you'll see different tools or things to help you. But what I would really encourage you to do, what I think is helpful, is going to a local like Lowe's Home Improvement Center. A lot of times Lowe's is going to put the price of the install right on the shelf for the work that they do. That will give you a good idea. You can talk to people within the store and they can give you a better idea of what it covers, as well as different services that they can do. Most Lowe's Home Improvement Center, they do have a project interior specialist and a project exterior specialist. Lowe's will normally give free estimates for exterior projects such as roofing, siding, fencing, decking, windows, HVAC, that sort of thing. And with the interior, a number of Lowe's will charge a small nominal fee to have somebody come out and maybe quote a new kitchen, new bathroom. And then if you go ahead and utilize their service, they will credit that on the back end. But one thing I would tell you that you could do is go out to a Lowe's site, and I would look at like Lowe's.com, and let's take a look here. If we go out there, if we go out to, let's take a look here. Okay, so if we go out here to Lowe's.com, let's take a look at that loading here. I apologize, internet's a little bit slow. There we go. So here's a Lowe's.com website, their main web page. When we're looking at Lowe's.com, you can actually register a My Lowe's card, and the My Lowe's card is free and available at most stores. And on that My Lowe's card, you can go ahead and put together shopping lists. You can save items out there. It can set you up for reminders, things of that nature. So the nice thing is, say you have to change batteries for smoke detectors in a rental, or you need to change the fans for, the filters for your heater, or a thing of that nature, where you're changing the filters each month. It can set you up with a reminder for that as well. So I would first take a look at the My Lowe's card and see what it does for you. The other thing is, as you buy items, if you need to return anything, you know, it does keep track of all your purchases, so it's easier to look at past purchases. It's easier to return things. It's easier to kind of keep an inventory of things that you're purchasing, and it makes shopping lists really easy if, you know, you're looking at trying to keep track of what's going through a particular property. Now, the other thing that I would look at is, when you're on the Lowe's website, if you go under shop, they're going to list appliances, bathroom items, building supplies, electrical, flooring, hardware, heating and cooling, home decor, your kitchen, lighting and ceiling fan, outdoor, paint, plumbing, etc. So as we go down here, let's take a look. Plumbing, storage, tools, windows, and then you could shop all products. The nice thing is, if we were looking at a kitchen and we clicked on the kitchen, and we're looking at kitchen cabinets, and we click on kitchen cabinets, they're going to show you different kitchen cabinets by color, cabinets by type, related categories, whether it's hardware for the cabinets, countertops, islands, that sort of thing. They're going to show you gallery pictures, installation services, ideas, kitchen remodeling. So a lot of times as you go out here, you can gather a lot of information, you know, just from the website as to what they may or may not have available. And the other thing that we would look at, say I go out here and I want to look at countertops. I can click on countertops, and they're going to show me all the different type of countertops they have, from you know, countertop samples to accessories to end caps to side splashes. The one they have here, this is a color I use called Antique Mascarello. It looks like granite, but it's really a Formica, like a pressed sawdust, but it has that look of granite. I kind of just really like that countertop look. And here they're going to show you the different brands they have, samples, and then they tell you, are they scratch resistant, heat resistant, stain resistant, things of that nature. So a lot of the products that you would find in the store, you can do a little homework and look online, and it can really help you, you know, pinpoint different products that they may have that would be helpful to you. And for sake of argument, like say if I come out here and I'm looking for lighting and ceiling fans or something, I can click right on ceiling fans and see different ceiling fan options that they may have available, and look at different categories, look at different pricing and all that. So the nice thing is, it's showing me different options that I may have for the properties that I'm going to do, as well as the different brands they may carry, which is kind of nice. So that works out good. The other thing that I would look at, what I like, they do have little videos that you can watch, you know, choosing the right ceiling fan, comparing energy efficient. Maybe you're in an area that might offer a credit for using energy efficient supplies. That's something you could check into. They have videos on installing a fan, using a dimmer, etc. Tips for mounting a ceiling fan. They have a ceiling fan guide, bulb buying guide, things of that nature. A lot of times with your light fixtures, don't forget to get bulbs for them if it doesn't come with the fans, as well as lighting fixtures. And the one thing I would say, try to stay with, you know, the flow of consistency of color. Here, if you're using brushed nickel, is your house pretty much flowing with brushed nickel or bronze or contemporary? Don't just buy, you know, different items a lot of times. Not that I want you to be a home interior, but what I would encourage you to do is, you know, kind of stay with the same flow going throughout your property rather than, you know, mixing it up a little bit. So as we go through here, you know, we can look at different kits, remotes, things of that nature, different fans they have. You're going to see different lighting options, things of that nature. And a lot of times, like I said, I think the videos out here are helpful. The one thing I like looking at when I go into here is, and then I select an item. Let me just click on bathroom for a minute. If I click on toilet and toilet seats, okay, every house we know is going to need a bathroom. You know, it's usually going to need a new toilet. It's going to need something. My favorite expression is people don't want to buy other people's dirt. So what I often say is a lot of times when you look at bathrooms, I usually replace toilets. I might replace sinks. I'm going to replace faucets, that sort of thing. When I'm doing a buy, fix, and flip. If it's a rental property, at a minimum, I want to make sure the toilet and that cleans up. But I then want to go ahead and, you know, make sure I at least put on a new toilet seat. So, you know, the thing I want to show you here is, you know, toilets can vary. American Standard's a good toilet. Up here, Kohler is a good toilet. But remember, you are not living in this house if you're doing a fix or flip or a rental. When I do a fix and flip, the thing that I like looking at is if it's brand new, most people aren't going to be upset if it's brand new, and most people are not going to know the difference in quality. The difference between these two toilets are almost $100. This is $189, was $209. This AquaSource toilet's $99, and it has the elongated two-piece chair, okay, type of toilet. The thing I like about these AquaSource is a lot of times, you know, you get the seat, the bowl, the tank, and the wax ring for it. It's kind of an all-in-one. But the thing I want to show you on here, you have item numbers, and that item number is universal no matter what Lowe's you're at in the country. And then you can compare different ones if you want to look at them side by side if you're not sure which one you want to use. But the nice thing is it gives you a nice kind of selection of different toilet options you may have. And the one thing I would really encourage you to look at is always trying to use the same type of product that you're doing each house with. So if I'm doing a starter home and it's a light rehab, most starter homes I'm going to always use the same type of product. If I'm doing a little bit nicer house, maybe we can move up to a little nicer product. If I'm doing a high-end house, most people are going to expect higher end items in that house, meaning you can't do a very expensive house with cheaper products. It won't sell that house. So what I would look at doing, if you're good in Excel, maybe complete an Excel spreadsheet for items that you may use. Try to do it one room at a time. What I like doing, you could put item number, you can put a description, you can go ahead and do cost of the item. Then you got to do labor cost. And like I had said, labor cost may vary depending where you are in the country. I often say that, you know, certain parts of the country are going to be higher to do certain things than others. So if we are doing a little spreadsheet, either in an Excel, or if you're not comfortable with Excel, could you take a notebook and write it out? You sure could. What is the item number? Column 1. What is the description number? Column 2. What is the cost of the material or item? Column 3. What is the cost of labor? Column 4. What is total cost? How do we arrive at total cost? It's material cost plus labor gives us the total cost. Now, the only other thing you may have a column for if you want is quantity. meaning if I have 3 bathrooms and I'm changing 3 toilets, I'm taking my total cost times 3 and kind of factoring that out. The nice thing about an Excel spreadsheet, you could put little formulas in there to add, multiply, that sort of thing. If you're not comfortable with Excel, I think even a little notebook would be helpful that you can run through and add up. And I would encourage you to try to do, the bigger items, itemization. Now, after you get a handle of about 10 houses, can you take an average cost per square foot that might be a little bit closer? You sure can. So once again, out here, they got ideas, how-to, savings. We could go back to shopping if we wanted to look at, flooring as an example. Can you see the different type of flooring they have, from tile to laminate to hardwood to carpet? So it has all varieties out here. If you wanted to try to get an idea of the selection they may or may not have, you can click on, a category and take a look at carpet or take a look at ceramic, and they have some popular choices. Now, when it comes to flooring, a lot of times I tell people, if use the type of flooring that's comparable to the area that you're in. When I go to hotter climates, say I'm in Arizona or Florida or Hawaii, or say I'm near a beach, I'm near a sandy beach, a lot of people like like a ceramic tile. They don't want carpet as much. But if we're somewhere in a cold climate, carpet may be the norm. So how do I determine this? If I go to a lot of open houses and look at houses that are on the market, maybe they're in move-in condition, what are most of the people using? And the style too. I want to try to stay within the norm. I don't want to be, kind of an oddball. I think often when I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a lot of homes I went through were ceramic tile. They preferred tile. Very few I looked at, if any, even had carpet as an option. So try to look at what's normal in that area. Inversely, if I was in Chicago and somebody did a house in all tile, that house is going to be pretty darn cold in the winter, and people may not like that option. When we look at it, it's cost of the item to do it, plus the amount of time of labor. Because like with any project, you want to stay on cost and stay within timeline to get it done. Often we can cut costs sometimes by doing a little cheaper grade of carpet and doing a thicker grade of padding. If we have a thicker padding under our carpet, it's going to make the house feel or carpet feel a little bit better than what it is. Most people buying a starter home, they're only going to know, is the carpet new or smells new, or is it old? And we try to go with a neutral color. If we go with a neutral color, pretty much anything the home buyer would have, whether it's a leather couch or a polka dot couch, is usually going to go with that neutral color. So if you want to cut corners a little bit, you can do a cheaper carpet with a thicker padding. When it comes to the appliances, we can do a little bit cheaper appliances if we have to. Most people are going to be pretty excited if, the products they're getting are going to be new. And when I come out here, I just really want to show you, when we look at, for sake of argument, like a dishwasher, you're going to have white, you're going to have black, you're going to have stainless appliances. It's totally up to you, but a lot of times, with my buy, fix, and flip, I do like the black. It looks a little bit richer. In my rentals, a lot of times I'm going to use white because I think they don't get scratched or scuffed sometimes as easily. But in a higher end buy, fix, and flip, we're definitely going to go with the stainless steel look. So a lot of times, as we look at the different dishwasher options, we can click on and see, what they have available. A lot of times, you can find a good dishwasher for under $300. Like here, you have a Frigidaire for $269. And as you scroll through here, you have different options that you can look at. Some are more prevalent of being in the store or not. What I encourage people to normally do is look in their local store, see what you have. And as you can tell, every one of these have an item number, a model number. They give you pricing. You can add to cart. The nice thing I like about their appliances, they will do price matching and usually beat it by 10% during major holidays, you know, Veterans Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Christmas. They usually run sales on their appliances, and they do that free delivery, which is very helpful. That way you don't have to worry about hauling. They do have scratched and dented, sometimes available in the store, available at a deeper discount, but you usually have to either pay for delivery or haul them away yourself. So that could be an option. But what I'm really trying to teach all of you out there is how do we create a standard way that we can go in and use the same products everywhere we go. If we're rehabbing in the Midwest, Illinois, or down south in Florida, or out east in Connecticut, or out west in California, can we pick the same products? And I want to tell you, I've been at Lowe's in almost all 50 states. I've probably been in easily close to 300 or more Lowe's stores all around the country. And the only thing that differs is in a higher end area, they might carry more higher end appliance options. In a working class area, they're not going to carry as many, you know, very high options, although they will have some. So based on the market that your Lowe's is in could dictate, you know, which products they may carry. But when I go through, and a lot of the standard things that I use, from appliances to flooring to paint to fixtures, they have all of the same products pretty much throughout you know, the stores that I've been in. So if we go back up here again towards like appliances, we were just looking at dishwasher. Can we take a look at, if you're interested in the Energy Star efficiency or different things that they may have available, you know, you can look at that and you can filter these. You can filter them by brand. You can filter them by pricing. You can filter them by Energy Star savings. You can filter them by the color: stainless steel, white, custom panel, biscuit look. They even have red and pink. Look at that. So you have portable dishwashers, built-in dishwashers, drawer dishwashers. So there's a lot of options out here for you. Now, the thing is, if we go back to appliances again, what if I look at microwaves? This is just something I want to show you too. I like doing built-in microwaves in a kitchen. And if I'm looking at built-in microwaves, you know, they have a typical black color Whirlpool for $199. Right here, they have a GE for $159. So it's a savings of $40. They have a different GE for $199. So as you look through, here's another over the range for $168. So as you can tell, they have different microwave options. You don't have to spend more than $200 for a built-in microwave. I like to get a microwave that mounts in over, you know, the stove, the range, that sort of thing. So my dishwasher pretty much was under 300. My microwave's under 200. You know, we can go back to appliances here and take another look at, you know, another item. If we do a stove or a range, you know, they have various ones in stock. They're either going to have electric or gas, depending on what's prevalent for your area and the house you're looking at. But the nice thing is, like right here, there's an electric range, Whirlpool black, $377. So a lot of times I can find electric, you know, usually the wiring electric range for under 400. The glass tops might be under 500. So here is a smooth surface electric for $494. And then a lot of times the gas stoves, sometimes you can find also, you know, right around $400 to $500, depending on you know, what you're looking for. But once again, you know, you can go here and filter. Actually, like here's a Hot Point freestanding gas range, $359. When they're that cheap, sometimes they say they're just giving them away. So the nice thing is free delivery once again. So as you're looking at doing this, I would recommend you try to go into a local store such as Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever might be in your area. And I would walk the aisles. I would really get to know your store, walk the aisles, and don't do it all in one day. You're going to burn yourself out. I might do it over 3 to 4 days. What might I do? I might go ahead and look at, I might go ahead and look at, going in one day and doing kitchens. Then I might look at going back and focusing on the bathroom. Then I might go back and focus on the exterior of the home. And a lot of times the associates, they are available to help you, okay? And they can work with you, they can help you, but they're real busy usually on the weekends. So if you go in during the week or you go in the evening, a lot of areas will have an associate appointed to that area. Doors and windows, you have the millwork department if you need to talk with them. If you go into the electrical and lighting, you're gonna have somebody there. If you go into the appliance section, you're gonna have somebody there that can talk to you. Kitchen, somebody's gonna be there. So the nice thing is even blinds and curtains, you're usually gonna have somebody in that department as well. So I would tap into the knowledge of the people that are there. They're there to help you. A lot of times they can even help refer, different services of what they can or can't do. If you're looking at finding contractors, I'll be honest, I can find a lot in a Lowe's or a Home Depot parking lot early in the morning. I can also, go on different websites. A lot of people may not know about the website porch.com, or maybe you do. That's a website that's affiliated, with Lowe's that they put some money into, and it has different contractors out there that you can find. That porch.com website, it's not a paid site, but it's very similar to like an Angie's List website. The Angie's List, you normally are paying for a membership to try to find contractors that are out there, but porch.com, that's a website that's free to utilize. The other thing that I would tell you is there's another website, homeadvisor.com, and some of you may have other websites that you utilize too. When in doubt, what would I recommend? Go out to the website, Google, and a lot of times, when we're out here in Google, we can take a look at, and then really figure out, what would be a good option by going into Google and, taking a look at what, is available out there. So if I went out to google.com, okay, and I went out here and I said, websites for contract, we can go out there and see different websites that might be there for contractors, as well as how to use contractor referral websites. And you could just click on different resources that are out there, and basically they're going to tell you or help you. One thing that I like to tell people is, rather than give you a fish, I want to try to teach you how to fish, how to find the answers, what to look for. And in here, like they talk about homeowner to homeowner websites, they talk about Angie's List that we had talked about before. Are there other sites that are out there? Yeah, there are. As we scroll through, let's just take a look. They're going to have other ones out there. I've never looked at these, but here's a contractors.com website. Home Advisor, which we talked about, need a contractor. Bid Clerk, you got another website out there, Reliable Remodeler. So all I'm saying is go out to Google, look up what you need, and try to find the answers when you need them. If I went to another website such as .com, YouTube, so let me go ahead and type that up here. Sometimes I talk faster than I type, and unfortunately having big fingers doesn't help. I hit the wrong key sometimes, so you got to bear with me. Apologize. But in any event, if we go to YouTube and we put rehabbing videos for fun, rehabbing houses, enter. Are there a lot of things maybe out here that we can look at or get information on? Or how do I find good contractors to So once again, we go out here and we can pinpoint or narrow down and get ideas from others as to different things they may or may not have done, which is helpful. So like I say, you know, go to different websites. We can go, we take a look at like homedepot.com, the official website of Home Depot, and we can go out here and we could take a look at items as well too. So depending, you know, you got store locators out here. You can look at a local ad. You could look at installational services and repairs as well. And then here they tell you top rated home installation services. So a lot of times you're going to have, you know, you can compare and contrast taking a look at Home Depot, and, you know, we can go ahead and take a look, like I said, at Lowe's. Two last things I'll tell you with Lowe's, make sure you take a look at talking to the commercial pro desk, usually in the lumber yard, and they do have what they call QSP, that's quote support pricing. So a lot of times if you're spending at least $2,500 or more, they'll do a quote and they'll give you a discount. Usually on bigger items, you're going to save a little bit more. Maybe a box of light bulbs, you're not going to save anything. But some of the bigger items, you know, they're going to give you various discounts. So look into the QSP program. Home Depot has what they call a bid room, BID, bid room. So based on what you're going to buy, you could submit everything you want to buy, and they're usually going to have a, you know, dollar amount limit, and they're going to come back to you with a bid as to what they can offer. I also know that, you know, with Lowe's, if you look at their credit card services and you look at general credit card offerings for their regular Lowe's card, you get 5% off every day on different items that you buy. So that could be an option, or 6-month special financing or 84-month special financing. So if you're doing a project, is it good practice if you can leverage, you know, either credit for a discount or credit, you know, for, you know, a discount off of interest rate? That can be good. You can also look at Home Depot, see what they offer. I do know that Lowe's, if you're a veteran and you're active duty, or you're retired and you can prove you're a veteran, they give veterans a discount, I believe 10% off of everything you buy as well. So my encouragement would be go to your local Lowe's, look at the My Lowe's card, look at the credit card options they have, get to know their price matching guarantee. If you bring in an ad of the same item and it's cheaper, they'll match it and beat it by 10%. That's definitely, you know, worth looking into. The credit cards, you know, talking again about Home Depot, look at the programs they have, talk to see what they can do for you as well too, if that's an option. They also have little workshops that are half-hour workshops that if you want to learn how to do something, you could take a little workshop. Not that I want you doing the work, but I think it's going to help you to better understand what's involved in the work. So when you hire a contractor to do the work, you know, you're going to at least sound like you know what you're talking about. If you're new and just starting out, I always say fake it until you make it, right? So make sure you, you know, look into that. You know, one thing that we were looking at, you know, we talked about Excel. If you are good in Excel, you can create a spreadsheet. In here, what did I say earlier that you could do? You can do item number, you can do description of the item, you can do labor cost, you can do material cost, and then you can do total cost. And a lot of times this is going to go ahead and help you as you're trying to keep track of what different things may or may not cost as you're pricing something out. And then all I'm going to do is go ahead and bold this, underline, center it. So a lot of times here, what is the item number, the description, and then these are going to be your costs, you know, right in here. Okay. So, and then this would be a total cost, the 2 columns. And like anything, you know, if you feel comfortable in using a spreadsheet like this, you know, maybe go ahead and do it. If you don't feel comfortable, go ahead and create the same thing on a notebook. So a lot of times when you're doing this, it's going to be really easy. And if it's helpful, you could even put another column in here, inside, outside, or interior, exterior, or room. You know, you just don't want this to become a massive spreadsheet, but, you know, you just want to make sure that you have the ability, you know, to keep track of what you're doing, because the better you understand a light rehab, a medium rehab, a heavy rehab, you know, the better off that, you know, you're going to be in calculating what, you know, the cost might be. So the good thing is, you know, you're going to be able to better calculate offers. The better offer you calculate, the higher likelihood you're going to be able to make better and more sound offers. The other thing I really want to share with you as well too is don't get discouraged as you're making offers if you feel you're not getting anywhere, getting offers accepted, because calculate every property you look at, it's better preparing you for the next property that comes along. A lot of this, just some tips that I would give to the newer people that might be watching. If you have not physically walked through at least 50 houses in your target area, you need to go through at least 50 houses. You're saying, oh wow, 50 houses. If you do 10 houses a week, it's only going to take you five weeks to do that. But I want you to get familiar with the style of homes in your area, the layout of homes in your area, because ultimately what you're going to try to do is time savings. And what do I mean by that? If I know the type of houses that are in a subdivision, or I know the type of houses that are in my area, okay, what am I going to look at doing? I can go out to like realtor.com, okay, and I can look at photos that might be out there. When I go to realtor.com and I have a good idea and I put in a zip code, okay, for sake of argument, let me go ahead and put in Tampa for fun, and I hit continue, and I'm looking at maybe some houses out here. Let's just take a look at this little gem right here for 132.5, 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. I click on the link, and when I click on this link, I can take a look at the photos of this townhouse. First of all, taking a look at it, I do think sometimes if you have a choice with newer construction can be a little bit better, because you don't have to worry about electrical. You don't have to worry as much about plumbing. You don't have to worry as much about different things with that. But once again, gotta love it. The internet connection's a little slower. So let's take a look here. It's waiting to reboot. The joys of hotel internet sometimes, right? But in any event, it's going booting up. So that's taking a little bit of time. So what would I say, you know, what would I consider taking a look at? When you look at the photos, okay, and you take a look at the photos on like a realtor.com, all right, you're gonna go ahead and see the photos, and from the photos you are going to go ahead and determine you know, what the rehab might be based on the photo that you see. So the thing that I would say is the better you get at layout, flow, costing, the quicker you can better guesstimate what costs are, and the quicker and easier you might be able to put offers in. But always remember to have a contingency in the event a house is not what you think it might be. how can you be able to get out of that contract if there were more repairs than you felt it might take to do the property. Okay. So the cool thing is, the more you can automate this, the more that you can standardize this, the more that you can have a system for whatever area of the country you're in. You have to do this one time. You may love it, you may hate it, but you have to get repairs down cold. If you can get repairs down cold, you're going to be out there making better offers. So, what I would tell you, spend the time in doing this, get to know it, do the best you can. And what I would suggest is, practice can basically make perfect. So the thing that I would look at is, we covered a lot of information today. Like anything, how do we eat an elephant? They say one bite at a time. Don't get overwhelmed by this thinking, oh my goodness, there's so much. Take one piece at a time, build on one piece at a time, go through a house one piece at a time. And I guarantee you, the more you do this, you're going to get quicker and more accurate at doing it. You might be out there and say, Joe, I still have a problem understanding air conditioning units and how much different ones might cost based on the size of the home. Then what would I tell you to do? Go out there and talk to at least 3 different air conditioning people and ask them how they come up with estimating the cost based on the size of your home, efficiency of the unit, that sort of thing. You may say, well, I have a problem calculating windows. Well, talk to people that install windows and ask them about how they go about calculating, whether it's standard, custom order, that sort of thing. So no matter what you're looking at doing, try to figure out how you can go about pricing for that item. If you're having difficulty, then go out there and talk to people that do this and try to better understand how they go about calculating pricing. The more time and effort you put in on the front end, the much easier it's going to be on the back end as you're out there making offers. So, I would just really encourage you to look at a lot of properties, run a lot of the numbers, start with lighter rehabs first, paint, flooring, fixtures, maybe a countertop, maybe you're changing a door here or there, but definitely a lighter rehab. You're in, you're out. A lot of times people say, how long could it take for a lighter rehab? A lighter rehab could take 2 to 4 weeks. A medium rehab usually might take 4 to 6 weeks, and a heavy rehab is probably going to take 8 weeks or longer in some cases. But over time, as you put together a system and a process, if you're out there trying to do buy, fix, and flip, or you're out there looking at doing rental property, the more efficient you get and the people you use doing it, the quicker you're going to get it done. And it's the cliche again, time is money. If you can get it done quicker, you're going to make more money by doing it. So try to focus, number one, on covering all your bases, knowing what your costs are. And no matter the strategy, if you're out there wholesaling, doing assignment double closes, your repair figure or rehab figure, remodel figure is accurate. It's in the ballpark. If you're doing rental property to make it rent ready, that figure for a light, medium, heavy is in the ballpark. If you're doing a buy, fix, and flip, it's got to be tight and in the ballpark when it comes to your figure. Because if you underestimate, every dollar that you go over is probably $1 coming out of your pocket or coming out of your profit. And you'll learn good lessons by doing it. But if we can try to make our number as tight as we can for a light rehab, a medium rehab, a heavy rehab, that definitely can help. And I always encourage everybody to do one last thing. If you are doing rentals or you are doing fix and flip and you are doing the rehab, you're gonna have a budgeted number. Well, I budgeted $22,000 to do this medium rehab, and then you do it and it's like, uh-oh, it was $32,000. What was your anticipated budget? What was the actual number? Well, I budgeted 22, my actual number was 32. What went wrong in what areas? Learn and compare. We call that in the accounting world variances. So if I budgeted $3,000 for one area and it cost me $4,200, why did I go over? Why was there a negative variance of $1,200? If I budgeted $4,000 in another area and I was able to do it at $3,000, that's a positive variance of $1,000. Why was I either negative on one or positive with the other? How can I tighten up those numbers? How can I tighten up those estimates to better understand for the next project or house or offer that I'm looking at making to have a much better and more accurate number that I can then utilize? And for all of you out there, if you're brand new, you're a little bit nervous, but I know that you can get through this. For those of you that are more seasoned out there, maybe some of this information was repetitive, but I hope I gave you a few golden nuggets out there that might have helped you in some way, because we can always get better at what we're doing and we can always learn. I often say, ask other people different things that they're doing. Maybe we can find better vendors. Maybe we can find it at better pricing. Maybe we can find discounts that we're not aware of. So why not network and share with others? And the bigger we build our networks, the more money that everybody out there can make. So as you do this going forward in the future, keep track of every property you make an offer on and how you go about calculating repairs. Don't just pull a number out of the sky and say, oh, there's going to be 50,000. Well, what's included in that 50,000? Or if you say, well, my friend told me they do $18 a square foot times the square footage. Fine, you can do that, but then I might ask you, what's in that $18? Does that include a full kitchen? Does that include a full bathroom? Does that include the windows getting replaced in the house if the windows are bad? What exactly does that include? So what I would encourage you to do is to know what's within the number of what you're basically looking at doing. And once you know what's within the number, you're going to better be able to calculate more solid offers. Because no matter if you're doing wholesaling or if you're doing fix and flip or you're doing rental property, you want to make sure the numbers are as accurate and tight as possible. And yes, you could have a little bit of a range. You might have a little bit of a miscellaneous factor in there that you add in for the unexpected. But remember, the tighter the number, the more accurate the number, the better offers you can make out there. So what I want to tell everybody out there is go out there, put a little bit of time into this. You may love or you may hate going into your local Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever you're shopping at. And for you Midwesterns out there, save big money at Menards to give everybody equal time, right? But you may be going to, whatever local hardware or home improvement centers within your area that you think you're going to utilize. Spend some time in there walking the aisles. Spend some time in there getting to know the people. Spend some time talking to find out what discounts or specials or incentives might be available and take advantage of that. I often say too, if you're working with buyers or cash investors, you may learn of things that may benefit them. If we make them better at what they do, if they can make more money at what they do, hopefully they're going to understand, even if we're a wholesaler, we're still concerned about their business. And if they make more money, in turn, hopefully we will make more money. So I really believe if you share this with other people you talk to about different ways everyone can save money, hopefully it'll be a good situation, not only for you, but your cash investor buyers, for your contractors and everyone out there. Because the thing I get, when I talk to people about, the Home Depot bid room or Lowe's having a QSP program, most people aren't aware of that. And if they're not aware of it, they're leaving money on the table where that could be more profit in their pocket or your pocket, or, a combination of both. So what I want to tell everybody out there is get out there, make it happen, spend some time doing this, become a really good estimator for the projects that you're doing. You're going to make better offers and you're going to feel more confident about that number you're using and how you arrived at it. So until next time, I want to tell everybody out there to believe and achieve. Go make it a great day by making it happen. And I want to tell you, you can do this. And I look forward to seeing you out there on IE, as well as out there on deangraziosi.com, and sharing your success stories and helping part of the family and helping others. So until next time, have a great evening. Take care now. Believe and achieve. Bye-bye.